Recent months have seen notable shifts within the Chinese Communist Party, sparking speculation that President Xi Jinping, China's most powerful leader in decades, may be preparing for a leadership transition or at least delegating significant authority. These developments are occurring against a backdrop of economic challenges and Xi's unusual absence from major public events. This absence coincides with a sweeping purge in the People's Liberation Army, including the removal of top generals and reshuffles in elite units such as Rocket Force and Western Theatre Command. According to the South China Morning Post, the CCP has adopted new rules for its powerful internal organs, signaling a possible shift in how the country is governed and possibly how power is distributed. The report states that at a Politburo meeting earlier last week, the top leadership reviewed fresh regulations for party coordinative institutes, key policy groups known as central commissions, and party leading groups. Most of these bodies were either created or empowered during Xi Jinping's rule. The new rules aim to formalize their operations, streamline policy discussions, and improve cross-agency coordination. State media reports suggest that these reforms are designed to standardize decision-making, ensuring that these bodies focus on planning, discussing, and overseeing major issues. Experts believe this points to Xi Jinping delegating more authority to his deputies, a trend already underway since 2023. Political scientist Dali Yang told South China Morning Post that the move reflects Xi's push to institutionalize governance. Xi holds numerous titles: President, Party General Secretary, and Military Chief, as well as chairs many of these commissions, stretching his capacity. Delegating day-to-day duties allows the system to run without his constant oversight. But this doesn't mean that Xi is stepping down. Experts warn that Xi may disengage from micromanagement. He's setting up mechanisms to ensure his directives are still enforced across all levels. Over the past decade, the 72-year-old has shaped how the Communist Party governs. By revitalizing old coordination bodies and forming new ones, he brought them directly under party control, often chaired by himself. Transitions have occurred in finance, science, cyberspace, religious affairs, and overseas Chinese engagement, where commissions now serve as vehicles for Xi's trusted deputies. Key roles have been handed over since 2023. Premier Li Qiang now heads the Central Financial Commission. Vice Premier Ding Zhongjiang leads the Central Science and Technology Commission. Both of them are top-ranking officials in the Politburo. Diplomatic power is also being distributed. Xi missed the BRICS summit in Brazil, the first time since taking office. Just like at the 2023 G20 in India, Premier Li Qiang led the Chinese delegation. So does this mean that Xi is preparing to step back? Well, not necessarily. Experts say that these new rules are more about improving efficiency and party control than paving the way for retirement. Yet, with the next National Party Congress scheduled for 2027, the 72-year-old's current term as party leader ends, and the speculation is mounting. Xi has not designated a clear successor. He broke with tradition in 2017 by not promoting one, and none has emerged since. But 5 men within the top leadership are now seen as the most powerful figures in China and possible contenders for future leadership. Li Qiang, Premier of China, is Xi's trusted ally. He gained prominence during Shanghai's COVID lockdowns and now heads China's economy as the second most powerful official in the country. His role as China's face at major international summits signals his rising stature. Ding Zhongjiang, first Vice Premier and Politburo Standing Committee member, has long been Xi's right-hand man. Despite lacking provincial experience, his swift ascent shows Xi's deep trust. Ding now oversees major policy areas and coordination efforts. Wang Huning, chairman of Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, is the party's ideological brain, a key architect of Xi Jinping thought. Wang influences the party's long-term vision. However, his lack of administrative experience makes him more of a kingmaker than a successor. Zhao Leji, chairman of the National People's Congress, is a veteran anti-corruption figure and top legislator. His current role gives him strong institutional platform, particularly over legal and constitutional affairs. Li Hongzhong, vice chairman of National People's Congress, is a party loyalist with deep experience in regional governance. He remains low profile globally but holds growing internal influence within party ranks. Still, with no term limits on Xi's 3 key titles, Party General Secretary, President and Military Chief, a phased transition may be more likely than a sudden one. In the meantime, China's internal governance is evolving. Power may be decentralizing, but only to those trusted within Xi's tighter inner circle. The question of who will eventually succeed him remains for now a closely guarded secret. For more news and updates, keep watching Live Mint.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.